Hello there, Lynx here, and welcome to, literally, at the moment of recording, the only channel that gives you Sakura Alien 2. That's right. And we are not limited to just that. There have been pretty much all the games from the Sakura franchise on the channel. You can find them. Should be pretty easy to do that. Playlists. Yeah. Anywho, because we'll definitely be bringing more of those games as well, so if you're into them, consider subscribing if you enjoy this content. Anywho, let's get to the game. I feel dazed when I finally leave Professor Sakai's office after what feels like entirely too much time. Yeah, the previous episode was both exciting and definitely brought the feelings down. If we reach the top of the mountain, then we plummet to the very bottom of it later on. I wander through the campus aimlessly without any real destination in mind, and eventually find myself at the old building where all the lesser used clubrooms are. I take the stairs mechanically, my mind still reeling, and let myself into the astronomy club. I don't often come here during the day, and it's unusual to see it so bright. I'm not sure what exactly compelled me to come here, rather than the cafeteria, given I've only 20 minutes of my lunch break left. I guess Professor Sakai's threats made me want to see the clubroom for myself, with my own eyes. I want to be reminded of what precisely I'm missing out on should the club close for good. The clubroom looks much the same as it always does, what with its scuffed wooden floor and its battered old couch. The posters on the walls which depict space's vast recesses are all the same, as is the homey scent of the green tea that permeates the air. Green tea which I forgot to go and buy today. There is nothing very special about this room, really. It's cluttered and cramped, and it's showing its age, but it's full of fond memories despite its shortcomings. I spent countless hours in this clubroom since I enrolled at this university last April. Do Japan students start in April? What would I do without this clubroom? Where would Hiyori and I meet up, and what about Enna? I can't think of anywhere else would be able to store Hiyori's telescope, not to mention her mini fridge which is visible, and kettle, and portable burner. This clubroom is full of bits and pieces. You could live here in relative comfort in the unlikely event of a zombie apocalypse. It's my home away from home. It might be nicer, in fact, than my actual home over in my cruddy apartment. Certainly, it's bigger. If I'm being quite honest, I didn't think much of the astronomy club when first I was inducted into it. I only joined because Hiyori pestered me. I was close to Hiyori for a long while, despite our status as the astronomy club's only 2 members. But Enna's arrival changed everything. I've had a lot of fun in this room with both her and Hiyori. I don't want to say goodbye to our sanctuary, but if I don't turn Enna in, I might have to. I don't want to say goodbye to Enna either, for this is all very complicated. I feel a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. Hey Haru! You don't usually come here during lunch. It's good to see you. And Hiyori's cheery greeting isn't really helping. The clubroom isn't, as I discovered upon opening the door, unoccupied. The president of the astronomy club is there, sitting on the couch, a cup of green tea in one hand and a large book positioned on her lap. She greets me cheerfully, but soon pauses upon seeing my pensive expression. Haru, are you okay? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Answering like a zombie. I try to reassure Hiyori, but I don't think my reply quite does the trick. She doesn't look consoled in the slightest. If anything, her frown grows even more pronounced. Are you sure? You look a little down. Did something happen? I suppose so. I don't want to worry Hiyori, but I guess she's got to hear about Professor Sakai's threats sooner or later. That might be why I came to the club in the first place, actually. I know Hiyori spends most of her time free time here. Was I trying subconsciously to seek her out? She's something of a comfort, but I can't say I relish the thought of breaking the bad news to her about the club. I know Hiyori well enough to know she won't hold Professor Sakai's plot against me. There is no sense shooting the messenger, but I'm painfully aware of how much she cherishes this club. I don't want to hurt her, but it's starting to seem inevitable. I sigh. It's a lot going through right now, but well, I had a talk with Professor Sakai earlier and I'm ready to launch into an abridged account of all that transpired in Professor Sakai's office, but a loud gurgling courtesy of my stomach interrupts me. I was so caught up in my musings, I must have forgotten how hungry I was. Guess that tracks. What? It is lunchtime after all. For a while there, I think I lost track of time. Oh goodness me, you sound like you could use some filling up, Haru. Haven't you had any lunch? Not yet. I know there isn't time to buy anything from the store either. Oh, don't trouble yourself with that. Convenience store food is all overpriced. In Japan, is it? And it can't hold a candle to nutritious home cooking. I made a bit too much for lunch today, actually, so you can have some of it if you want. You're more than welcome to it. I look at Hiyori's lunchbox, which is resting on her lap. It's a very pretty, well-organized lunchbox, full of delicious and carefully prepared food. I can spy, even from a distance, white rice with pickled plums, rolled egg omelets, what looks to be a seaweed salad, and some fried shrimp. The shrimp, in particular, looks delicious. They're coated in golden butter and I bet they're juicy. I'm a sucker for seafood, and shrimps are some of my favorites. I personally never had shrimps, but Hiyori must have noticed my gaze, because she grins, then pats the couch with one hand. Come on, Haru, sit down. There is a lot of food to go around. Are you sure you don't mind? It is your lunch after all. I'm sure. It would just go to waste otherwise. There is nothing I love more than feeding people, particularly people I care about. You look like you could use the nutrients. You might be right about that. I do feel pretty wary. Alright then. I give Hiyori's offer a bit of thought, then decide to take her up on it. I cross the club room, the floorboards creaking in the protest, and set my messenger back down by the table. Then I shrug off my coat and take a seat by Hiyori's side on the couch. I'll try some of your food. I'm pretty hungry. I thought you might say that. Am I that predictable? When it comes to food, yeah. You're staring at my shrimp like a man possessed. Now open wide and say, ah. Let's go. For the thumbnail. Hiyori pinches a particularly plump shrimp between her chopsticks, then holds it up to my mouth. I look at her askance, my lips burst. I'm not a little kid, I'm more than capable of feeding myself, you know. I know that, but I thought we'd have more fun this way. Plus, you look so weary. Haru, I want to make things as easy for you as possible. I'm not so worried I can't operate a pair of chopsticks. Well, too bad for you. Hiyori pokes her tongue out teasingly. You're going to eat your lunch like this, mister, and you're going to enjoy it. That's what I've decreed. Is this the price I have to pay for eating your lunch? Yes, it is. I hope it's not too steep at all. It's fine. It is a bit embarrassing, but it should be alright. It's not like there's anybody else here to judge us. Wouldn't it be alright if there was somebody else here? If it was Anna, I don't think there'd be an issue. But I'm not big on public displays of affection. I know, you can be so aloof at times. It's amazing you're willing to let me feed you at all. You never have been so pliant even a few months prior. Kind of true. You've changed, Haru. For the better, I hope. Perhaps. That should go without saying. I've always thought you were cute, but you've grown even cuter since Anna appeared. She's softened you up an awful lot. I would just say it's because he was so dense. He didn't realize your, romantic approach. Anyway, I'd best be careful. If I get any softer, I might turn to a slime. Ooh, being reincarnated as a slime doesn't sound all that bad. Think of all the lewd things you could do with nubile young girls. As if I care about such things. I'm a nice guy. Hiyori counters with teasing smile. Then why do you own so many lurid magazines? What do you know about my magazines? More than you might think. Anna told me about them. And she's not one to skimp on the details. I had no idea you were interested in a pet play, Haru, or... Hey, Hiyori, I'm hungry. Are you going to feed me or are you going to torture me by waving the shrimp in front of my mouth? Oh, yeah. I apologize. I must have gotten carried away. Say, I opened my mouth obligingly, as per Hiyori's request, and she dropped the shrimp into it. I chew on the shrimp, savoring it. It tastes just as good as it looks, crunchy on the outside, juicy within, but that's to be expected when it comes to Hiyori's cooking. She mightn't act like it, but she's a domestic goddess. Hiyori's food is to die for, whether she's making fried shrimps, rolled egg omelets, or my personal favorite, hot pot. I could eat her cooking for 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 360 days a year, and I wouldn't get tired of it. You might get overweight drastically. So what do you think? Do you like it? Of course I like it. You made it. Can you keep them coming? Of course. Hiyori beams relieved. I'm happy to hear that. Here you go, Haru. Hiyori feeds me bits and pieces from her lunchbox. Here, a fried shrimp. There, some seaweed salad, chased down by a fluffy morsel of rolled egg omelette, which I eat with appreciation. Dude, I'm still so jealous of Japanese high school. Maybe not just high school, Japanese schools, basically. Having those lessons where they teach, like basically healthy cooking as far as I'm concerned. Or cooking, basically. I'm so jealous that they have something like that, something that is actually useful in life. Anyway, Hiyori's food is so satisfying, it helps me forget, if only for a few moments, Professor Sakai's threats. Then again, I learned, cooking at the age of 14? Something like that. That's where I started cooking something. Yeah, I think so. Except the things that I learned were not really that healthy, I guess. I guess depends how you actually prepare it, but whatever. And everything else I did with Professor Sakai too. Once I've eaten my fill and Hiyori set both her chopsticks and her lunchbox aside, my ancient hands in full force. I haven't forgotten what we discussed in her office. Of course I haven't. It's weighing on me more heavily now than ever before. So... Hiyori looks at me, her eyes cloud with concern. What happened, Haru? You said you had a talk with Professor Sakai? That's right. I inhale deeply, fingers resting on my thighs, in an attempt to settle my thoughts. I've no choice but to come clean. Hiyori's food was pleasant diversion, but I need to get down to business. I tell Hiyori about Professor Sakai's threats in what I hope is a measured manner. I don't want to make my own upset too apparent, not when this situation is already so volatile. I'd hate to upset Hiyori more than this necessary. It takes me about 2 minutes to deliver an abridged version of what Professor Sakai told me, but feels like 2 minutes too many. I feel exhausted when I'm finally finished. Talking about it aloud makes Professor Sakai's threats feel real. Realer? No, more real. Somehow, than they did back in her office. Realer? That sounds so bad, it's got to be more real. It's pretty unnerving. Oh my! Hiyori gasps once I've finished and presses her hand to her chest. It does sound serious. Doesn't it just? I groan. I'd like to say I can't believe it, but I can. Professor Sakai is a serious woman, and it sounds like she's got her sights set on our club. I don't know why, but she seems very suspicious of our activities, and in Anna in particular. Did she single Anna out in a way, anyway? No, but she didn't need to. I could extrapolate as much, given she asked me to report back on the Astronomy Club's members. Our club doesn't have any members other than myself, you, and Anna. Who would she be suspicious of, really, were it not for Anna? She's not an officially registered student at the university, unlike us. Professor Sakai has to be talking about her. Then do you think Professor Sakai suspects something about Anna's true identity? That's what I'm worried about. We don't know anything about Professor Sakai, really. Her arrival was unannounced and totally unexpected. On the other hand, you know what? She's a professor. You probably could find her in the internet. If she earned the title of professor, there's got to be something about her. I don't want to sound like I'm veering into conspiracy theory territory, but I'm doubtful she's a real professor at all. Oh, so you think what I thought? She seems to know what she's talking about during her lectures, but that could all be a camouflage. What if she's working for the government? Someone might have given her... Okay, he's not actually thinking what I was thinking. Someone might have given her a tip, and now she's come here looking for proof that extraterrestrials exist. If she digs up any dirt on Anna, she might get sent away to facility. Do you think she means to operate on Anna? I have no idea, but isn't that what the government always does in movies? Those are only movies for... I know, but they say life imitates art for a reason. And you can't trust the government. An unpleasant image flashes through my mind of an euthanized Anna tied to an operating table, but beneath a valley of harsh bright lights. A surgeon looms over her, their face obscured by a surgical mask, gripping a scalpel in a hand. The thought is so horrid it makes me physically cringe. Hiyori's own thoughts must have wandered in a similar direction to my own, because the color fades from her cheeks. Wincing, she reaches out, then takes my hand in hers. There is a chance, I suppose, that Professor Sakai might be investigating Anna, but she doesn't have any solid proof that she's an alien. If she did, she wouldn't have asked you for information. She can take Anna away on spurious claims. We're alright for the moment. For the moment, yeah. Well, I'm still worried. I don't want to be expelled, but if that's what it takes to protect Anna, then... I grit my teeth together. I'll have to endure that when the time comes. Do you think Professor Sakai will make good on her threat? I have no doubts about that. She sounded awfully serious. I'm in quite the pickle. But Anna's safety is more important than any of that. I can't risk her being hurt. And so, to that end, I think we should suspend the astronomy club's activities for the next week. We'll tell Anna to keep away from the campus too. Professor Sakai can't keep tabs on her if she's not around.
That mightn't be a bad idea, but... Wouldn't that make Professor Sakai more suspicious of us, not less? Keeping Ken away from the campus would make it obvious that we have something to hide.
Hiyori's right about that, of course. In my fervor to protect Anna, I hadn't considered that angle. Professor Sakai will be scrutinizing up closely. We can afford to do anything that will make her more suspicious than she is already. That's unfortunate, but... in that case, I guess we should continue holding our club meetings like we always have. Would it be our best option?
I'm unsure. We'll have to think about it, I suppose. Why don't you try discussing matters with Anna tonight? I'm sure she'll have an opinion on all of this too.
That's a good point. I'll tell her to be careful. What about you, Hiyori? Will you talk to her with me?
I would love to, but I can't. Not tonight. My parents are coming over to see me. That should take up quite a bit of my time.
Oh, they are. I frowned. You didn't mention that this morning.
I didn't know about it this morning. They called me about half an hour ago, at the start of lunch break. It was all very sudden. They said they had something important to tell me. I wonder what it could be about.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We played Crystalline recently. You think it's the same scenario? I hope not. I wonder too. That sounds serious.
I'm sure it will be fine, for knowing my parents, they probably want to ask me whether I found a partner yet, or if I'm planning on giving them grandchildren anytime soon.
You're a student.
My mother is always harping on about that. She's so intense.
Hiyori shakes her head, then smiles. I don't get parents that act like that. It's not your line, damn it.
I'll have to go home early today. Club activities will have to be put on hold, regardless of what Professor Sakai might think. I hope you don't mind.
No, it's fine. This might be a boon, actually. It will give me some time to get everything straight.
That's what I was thinking.
Hiyori takes my hand once more and gives it a comforting squeeze.
I know you must be anxious, Haru, but don't worry. No matter what happens, I'll always be here for you. And Anna too. You're both precious to me, and I won't let any harm befall you. If ever you need a place to turn to, you can come to me. I'll never abandon you, I promise.
Okay. Once lunch is over, I'm kept busy attending my next handful of lectures. My day wraps up around 16, and rather than reviewing the day's notes in the library like I often do, I instead opt to meet Anna at the bakery after her shift ends. I think Anna should probably be planning to head on over to the astronomy club after work, but that's off the table for now. Professor Sakai's investigation has cooled my passion towards club activities, and in any case Hiyori won't be around to oversee things. I wonder what it is exactly that her parents want to discuss with her. Could it be something serious? It sounds a bit ominous, them coming over at such short notice, but perhaps this really is nothing more than a standard family get-together. Who knows? I know Hiyori's parents have ample cash to splash around. I doubt people like that think of anything of taking an unplanned trip to Tokyo. My parents meanwhile live out in the sticks, and they are not very wealthy. They've been to Tokyo about 3 times in their lives. That's more than me, and they definitely don't have the change to spare to pay me a visit at the drop of a hat. It's easy to forget this, given how friendly Hiyori is, but she's very privileged, and I have no problem with that. Dude, I mean, you know, her parents worked really hard for that, so they can allow themselves that, right? The fact that they helped their daughter was also cool. Anywho, she and I couldn't come from more different backgrounds. Still don't see it as a problem. Let's set the point for I'm getting sidetracked. I leave the university's campus, my messenger bag slung over my shoulder, and meander over to bakery where Anna works. I get there about 15 minutes before her shift ends, and I catch her in the midst of dealing with a customer.
Ooh, nice.
Alright, actually, this might be a thumbnail. I don't know.
Here you are, freshly made loaves of spelt bread. They've only just come out of the oven. I hope they're delightful. Thank you very much for patronage. It is more appreciated.
More? Much. Anna wraps these loaves of bread up in a paper bag for the customer, then hand them over with a bow. God, like an actual bakery is the best thing to get bread. And the smell of fresh bread. Oh, it's to die for. The customer hands Anna some money in turn, which she slots deftly inside the cash machine. Anna exchanges some pleasantries with the customer for a few moments, a cheery smile upon her face until they take their leave. Once Anna's finished with this interaction, I step up to the counter, then wave at her. Hey there, how are you doing?
Oh, darling, I didn't see you. It's nice of you to come and visit me.
Anna's eyes light up to see me, and her smile, which was already wide, grows wider still. Anna looks so happy she's positively glowing. She's adorable, for part of me does think that I'd like to see Hiyori dressed like that. Ooh, ooh. Proper Sakura might look good in that as well. Oh, ooh, what am I supposed to say in here? Holy crap. Game, now you got me good. I want to say both. I already thought both. This is so problematic. Let's you know what, let's say Hiyori. Let's go with that. Hiyori mightn't be as striking as Anna. Her hair and her eyes are decidedly ordinary, but I'd love to see her in a frilly getup like Anna's. I think it would be pretty refreshing. Regardless of who else might look good in that maid outfit. However, the fact remains that it suits Anna to a T. Yeah, seeing her is the worst of the tension in my breast, which settled there since my talk with Professor Sakai. When I'm with Anna, I feel like I can relax.
I've been doing well, thank you, darling. The store has been so very busy today. I've been rushed off my feet.
Doesn't that get tiring?
Oh, it can, yeah, but I welcome the work. I always enjoy interacting with you Earthlings. Your race is such a curious one. You are very polite, on the whole, and you often have interesting stories to share with me. I like talking with my customers. But that seems to annoy my manager. He sometimes scolds me for being too talkative. I think it's nice to take interest in other people, for it's only polite. Do you not agree with me?
There is merits to getting to know your customers, sure. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, some of them you will recognize. I mean, it also depends. It's a bakery, so it's probably not that big. But even if you are working in a bigger store, you will recognize people. They will recognize you. Yeah. Anyway, but I don't know where I was going with that. But I can imagine it causing problems if your chatter starts holding people up. If you're by the cash register, yeah. Which is the case for her, definitely. If you're not at the cash register, not really. Anyway.
It does happen from time to time. My customers don't often complain. They say I'm too cute to be mad at. But I am aware it is an issue. I'm still trying to rectify it. It is hard to go against my nature, for...
You can do it, Anna. I believe in you. I give Anna a thumbs up. I bet you're the main draw to this bakery in the first place. People will be flocking from all over the place to see you.
Do you think so?
I'm certain of it. You look great in the outfit. Who wouldn't want to be served bread or pastries by you?
Why, thank you, darling. I'm flattered. You certainly know how to perk up my spirits. I too am very fond of this attire, which is most different from the clothes I wear up on Corval.
Anna takes hold of her frilly skirt between her fingers and then flutters it.
In Corval we favor skin-tight attire, but this is very loose and fluttery. It is not very practical, but sometimes prettiness is more important than practicality. If you like this outfit all that much, perhaps I should ask my manager if I can bring it back home.
Okay.
I could wear it for you around the apartment if you'd like. We could do all kinds of fun things in it.
All kinds of fun things, she says. Now I wonder what that entails. I have no idea. I'm being blessed with all manner of mental images right now. But no, this is hardly the time. I didn't stop by to see Anna so I could flirt with her. I have something important to discuss with her. Can you do this after the shift is finished? Anyway, this is kind of sudden, but we're not going to the astronomy club today. That's why I stopped by to pick you up. I thought we could walk back home together.
Oh?
Anna blinks.
Have today's activities been suspended?
They have, yeah. I'm sorry for the show notes. It's kind of sudden.
Oh, that is quite alright. It is possible to have too much of a good thing, or so I have heard. We can always go stargazing at a later date. Beside the matter of all.
Anna appears at me from behind the counter, her eyes soft and concerned.
It looks like there's something on your mind.
You can tell.
Of course I can. You are so very close to me, darling. I know your face just as well, if not better, than mine own when I look into the mirror. I can detect your every shift in motion, no matter how subtle it might be. I would not be able to call myself your fiancé if I was not capable of at least this much.
Wow. I guess that's impressive. I pause. Now that it's a given we're going to get married, we're still too young to think about the future.
Oh, we might be young now, but that is only temporary. We all age eventually, and when we do, I would like to do so by your side.
Well, thanks, Anna. I'm glad. I smile at her. For the present, however, I do have something serious to discuss. I received some pretty worrying news today.
Oh dear, what news?
I'll tell you later when we get back to the apartment. Speaking of which, I take my phone out of my pocket and glance at the time. It's almost 16:30, which marks the end of the Anna shift. Nice. I would also end my shift like that if I would start it at 8:30 always. But usually it's like 8:40, 8:50, 9. It's actually nice having this possibility to like start your work between a certain set of hours. Like I'm supposed to start between 6 and 10 in the morning. And that's freaking awesome. Because, you know, I can basically start at 10 and it's cool. But let's say I have something to deal with during the day. So I can start super early, like let's say that at that 6, right? So I'll end later and can deal with stuff. That's pretty cool. As expected of a not Polish company. The flexibility. Anyway, shouldn't you be finishing up now?
Oh yeah, you're right. I'll go and get checked now, then we can walk back together. I was looking forward to going stargazing, but I'm not at all opposed to spending more time with you, darling, no matter how serious your expression might be.
And then ducks out from behind the counter, then presses a quick, fleeting kiss to my cheek.
I like Hiyori a lot, but I like you too.
Here, Anna's voice drops to a sensuous whisper.
And sometimes, I must confess, I don't feel like sharing you. Being with you has made me an awfully selfish girl.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
So,
Okay, we are back.
what's the problem, darling?
Anna posits this question to me as soon as we return to our apartment, all wide-eyed innocence. My conversation with Professor Sakai has been weighing on me all day, and I'm relieved at the thought of finally relaying the news to Anna. I guess there is no sense stalling for time. I sigh, then shrug off my coat and take a seat upon the tatami mats. Anna sits beside me, cross-legged, her long hair curling in wispy tendrils on the floor. She looks obedient and perfectly pliant, like a little kid in an assembly hall. There is something so sweet about Anna's guileless countenance, I'm loath to cause her any upset. But that might, I fear, be inevitable. This is about Professor Sakai. Anna wrinkles her nose.
You've been talking about her rather loud recently, darling. You should consider yourself fortunate, but I'm not the jealous type. Else I might take offense hearing you speak about another woman again.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. I don't want to talk about her all the time. Either, believe me, I don't, but this is pretty serious. I do.
How so?
It's a bit of a long story, but, well, I've thrown. I could tell Anna about the inappropriate things I did with Professor Sakai in her office, but I don't think she needs to hear about that. That was only a case, but let's not tell her, I guess. Whatever. I don't want to think about it either. I guess I won't mention that in my briefing. Instead, I'll cut to the chase. To the case. To give you a brief summary, I think she's suspicious of you.
Of me?
I know it. You know, I mentioned that she'd been staring at you when we went stargazing on the roof.
Yeah, I recall your warning. You told me to be careful, and really, I've been trying. I would not want to worry you, darling.
I know you wouldn't. You're a good girl, and you've not done anything wrong. Aside from her worrying habit of calling us humans earthlings, which hasn't abated. But Professor Sakai is closing in on us. She asked me to go to her office early today, and she gave me quite the ultimatum. She told me to tell her if I was keeping any secrets from her about the Astronomy Club's members. I guess Hiyori is included in that question, but I think her real point of interest is you. She didn't say it outright, not in so many words, but I'm certain she's aware that there is something unusual, should we say, about you.
Then you think she knows I'm an alien?
I think she might be toying with the idea, yeah. I doubt she has any concrete proof of this, but she's trying her best to find some. She even threatens me, Anna.
What? Oh no! What did that mean nasty woman say to you, darling?
She said if I didn't play along with her schemes, she'd get the Astronomy Club disbanded and she'd get me expelled. I've only got a week to decide what to do. If I dally too long, she'll set her plan into motion. Said that she was willing to destroy my future over this. It's no laughing matter.
I rather agree. This does not sound funny at all. What are we going to do, darling? You can't let that woman beat you. I know how passionate you're about your studies. You're always poring through those dense, confusing textbooks of yours, and you know so much about the stars. You dream of becoming a scientist and working at JAXA. If you get expelled from university, your dreams will be shattered. It doesn't seem at all fair that this woman should be threatening to take all this away from you. You've done nothing wrong.
Anna. I blink, taken aback. It's rare to see Anna lose her temper. In fact, I think this might be the first time I've seen her genuinely angry. Yeah. I think so too. She looks seriously pissed. And I think with a small smile, it's for my sake. Anna's indignation doesn't change my situation any, but it is reassuring. It's nice to know that she cares so much. Thanks for caring. It's appreciated.
Well, of course I care. Why wouldn't I? You're my darling first and foremost, and I don't want to see you suffer. If that woman is serious in her threats, which judging by what you said she is, then maybe it would be for the best if I went back to Corval. I'm worried I will continue to cause you problems while residing upon this planet, and I don't want that at all. You're my darling, Haru. I love you. If I didn't cause you distress simply by being with you, I would never be able to face myself. Love to be selfless. If leaving you would be the best option, then I should take it.
Huh?
Even if I'd miss you.
Anna sniffs.
I'd miss you horribly. In fact, I don't want to say goodbye to you at all. I love exploring the planet, and I love the astronomy club, and I really, really love being with you. But I'm willing to part with all of that for your sake.
Damn. That's nuts. You know what? I mean, after Sakura Alien 1, Hiyori was like my pick, but with this scene and the fact that Anna is willing to do all of that, oh boy, she might be taking the top place.
Just say the word, and I will contact my faithful mate, Revi, and ask her to return me to Corval.
What? Oh no. I take Anna by the shoulders, startled at her sudden outburst. Don't feel obliged to leave, Anna. Not now. That isn't what I want, and I doubt it's what you want either. You'd rather stay here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. Of course I would. I've not left on this planet for very long, but it feels like home to me, much more than the Corval ever did. Spending time here, spending it with you, taught me how much fun life can be. I'll never ever be as happy on Corval as I'm on Earth.
Then don't go back. You can still stay here. We'll find a way to make it work, somehow.
But your future career
is less important than your happiness. It'd be unfortunate, yeah, if I was expelled from university, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. Lots of people wind up dropping out for all sorts of reasons. It wouldn't look very good on my record, but it wouldn't be an insurmountable blow. I'd be able to overcome it. I just need to put in even more work. I could get a part-time job, or maybe full-time, and I could continue to look after you. We could stay in Tokyo. Why? Wouldn't it be better to go somewhere outside where it's cheaper? I would say so. My eyes narrow. And if that doesn't pan out, I could always go back to my parents' place, out in the countryside. There isn't much there, but we'd be able to save money while I figure out my next course of action. We'd still have options. But there's no guarantee Professor Sakai will successfully get me expelled, even if she tries to push for it. I don't know how much influence or power she has in the university. For all I know, that could have been an empty threat. I can endure it, Anna, if you'll remain by my side. I want to be strong for you.
Oh, darling!
Anna looks at me, momentarily breathless. Her lips are pursed in a small ring of surprise, and a pale pink blush spreads across her cheeks.
Would you be willing to go to such lengths for my sake?
I would, yes. I'm not about to turn my back on you, Anna. Having you in my life has changed it for the better, so I'm going to fight to cling into that. That's not up for debate.
Oh, you sound so manly when you talk like that.
Anna giggles, still red-faced.
And to think I was getting all worked up. My impassioned pleas weren't at all helpful, I fear. You meanwhile are trying to keep a level head, for you are the one being threatened. You're looking into the future, and you're trying to think of me. You're so considerate. This is why you're my darling, and nobody else. You're the only human male who can make my cardiac rhythm so very irregular.
Is that a good thing, for?
Oh, it is very, very good thing. It proves that you're important to me, darling. Not that this was up for a debate. I really do like you.
Anna smiles beatifully. Yeah, then takes my hand in her own. She gives it a squeeze, the consoling warmth of her palm enveloping me, and then says,
What will we do for the present about this situation? I can continue to remain on this planet if you so desire it, but I do not want to cause you any undue stress. Do you think it would be for the best if I kept away from your campus for the foreseeable future? That might make it harder for that woman to watch over me.
I'm not sure just yet. I talked matters through with Hiyori earlier today, but we weren't able to come to a consensus. She said we could talk about tomorrow. With some luck, we should be able to think of a decent plan between us. Until then. Pat. I reach out, then rest my palm atop Anna's head. I give her a gentle ruffle, as one might with a puppy, and smile at her. Don't worry too much, alright? I'll look after everything, so you don't need to stress yourself out. I'm going to try and protect you, no matter what happens.
Darling!
Anna sighs happily, one hand clasped at her front.
You're so good to me!
Well... I smile. The sentiment is appreciated, but I don't think I'm the one deserving of thanks here. Anna is. I suppose I ought to let her know as much too. How can you say that? After you offered to sacrifice your happiness for the sake of my future. You're the truly kind-hearted one here.
No, I'm not really. Your happiness is my happiness, darling. I was only able to make such an offer grim for it was because it would benefit me. Like all other carbon-based life forms who live solely to propagate their own existences. I really am quite selfish.
And your selfishness manifests as being completely selfless? I grin then rub Anna's head with a touch. More vigor. Sorry, Anna, but I'm not buying it. You are a nice person, or a nice alien, no matter what you say. Spending time with you has been a lot of fun. So I'm going to keep on fighting for you. I won't back down. You might be stubborn, but I'm stubborn too, and I've never been a quitter. But it's going to work out. It has to. Otherwise, I append silently within the confines of my own head. I know what I will do. Yeah, the other option is scary as heck, right? Anywho, let us end the episode here and we'll continue tomorrow. We'll see how we are going to deal with this situation. Let's actually end it with Anna on the screen. Yeah. What a cutie she is, right? I also think that. You better think that too. Okay. So, we talked with Hiyori. We talked with Anna. We saw Anna in a very cute work uniform. I don't know what to expect next. I'm super curious, but I need to get up for work. So I will not find out today by, like recording second episode. So yeah, we are going to cut it over here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. That'd be appreciated. What do you guys think about Anna in her uniform? I mean, come on, she looked beautiful. I don't even need to ask that question, but you can still say that. I don't mind at all. It would be actually a good thing if you did say something there. Subscribe if you haven't already. Of course, there will be more Sakura Alien 2. And as I said, apparently I'm the only channel at the moment that uploads this. So you probably won't find this anywhere else. Unless you buy the game. Which is also something I would recommend doing. If you can't now, do it later. When you have the possibility. Yeah. Also, there's Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, to which you can go if you want, if you're into that kind of stuff. And on Twitch, I'm like once a week. So I think this week I will skip. Yeah, that's it. I wish you a wonderful day. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.